No.
Good evening, everyone. Time being 6:30, I'm calling the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to call on Kirk Riggs, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. It's an honor and privilege tonight to introduce our we have a new city attorney, Jeremy, and also our new planner, Marcy. I want to give you a quick bio on both of these. I'll start with Jeremy. Jeremy Page has dedicated his legal career to servicing municipalities and local governments. He began practicing municipal law in 2016, and Tarrant County has been with Brown and Hoffmeyer since 2018. Where he became a partner in 2024. Over the years, he has developed extensive experience advising cities on wide ranges of issues, including land use, code enforcement, police matters, open records, and municipal court. He has been appointed as our new town attorney. He also serves as a Haslett's attorney and the assistant city attorney for the city of McKinney. Jeremy earned his undergrad at the University of Arkansas, I'll get it out, graduating magna cum laude, and he received his law degree from UCLA. Since returning back to Texas, he has focused exclusively on municipal law and is also a recognized speaker on many topics impacting local government. In his free time, Jeremy remains involved in community volunteers for various charitable organizations. He is also a gifted musician, have been playing the piano since he was a small child growing up in Dallas, Texas. Welcome to that. Marcy Radcliffe, she began her career 30 years in over 30 years of municipal government in planning and experience. Her leadership roles across multiple North Texas communities, including development director of the city of Kaufman. Her background includes extensive work in zoning, subdivision regulations, long-range planning, and development reviews. She has also worked on an all-call basis for several municipalities, providing expertise in zoning cases, plats, site plans, and ordinance development. Her superpower is ordinance, is what she tells me, which we have many ordinances we're going to redo. She holds a master's in the city and regional planning from the University of Texas in Arlington, and has a strong track record implementing programs, improving processes, and supporting responsible growth. Her work has been recognized with several noticeable awards, including City of Kaufman Council recognition for NEAT. The acronym stands for Neighborhood Enhancement Action Team Program. In 2011, the Kaufman Chamber of Commerce Civic Improvement Award in 2012, and the Texas Municipal League Municipal Excellence Award in City Spirit in 2013 for cities under 25,000. Please join me in welcoming Marcy Radcliffe as a
Welcome to both of you. We've got a lot of it here. Do we have any cards that were turned in for public participation on non-agenda items?
No, ma'am, just agenda items.
Thank you. Next, we're going to approve the minutes or make changes in them. Do you have any discussion on the minutes from the last meeting? We do not. Then may I have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. At this time, pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, the Planning and Zoning Commission will convene in a closed executive session in accordance with the Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with town attorney to seek legal advice of its attorney concerning the agenda items only that will follow. Time being 6:35. I will convene this body into a closed session. We will reconvene in a regular session, time being 7:11. I am going to make a swap so that we're going to take item number 4, which is discuss and make recommendations to town council regarding the final plat on the Plains of First Ranch. We're going to take that item first, then we're going to take 1, 2, and 3 in order. So item number 4, we don't need to vote on that, right?
No, you'll have to vote.
Oh,
You'll have to make your recommendation.
no, I mean vote to move.
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
That's just you.
Okay, all right, item number 4, discuss and make recommendation to the town council regarding a final plat for High Plains at First Ranch Phase 2, encompassing approximately 76.052 acres of property situated in the Penson Survey abstract number 1339 in the extraterritorial jurisdiction, ETJ, of the town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas. The property is located generally east of State Highway 377 between Keith Road and Smoot Lane. The applicant is GM Civil on behalf of the owner, Arroyo Cap V1 LLC. Staff presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Before you this evening, we have a request for the final plat of the first, High Plains at First Ranch Edition Phase 2. This plat, is it's only 76 acres and, 0.52 acres. There's 242, residential lots. And there are 6 non-residential lots with this final plat. Of course, this plat is out in the ETJ. It technically meets the requirements of the Bartonville development regulations, and to my understanding, it meets all the requirements of Denton County also.
Do we have an applicant here who wishes to speak?
Good evening, Jason Weaver with GM Civil, 2559 Southwest Grapevine Parkway in Grapevine. Yeah, just here to answer any questions y'all may have. Obviously, it's just a next phase continuation of what we've been doing out there, so if y'all have any questions on just glad to answer.
Staff did make a recommendation that the following condition be added, is that the finished floor elevations shall be provided on the final plat. This was a comment that was made during the preliminary plat meeting.
I'll ask you a question on this in a minute. Do any of you have questions? This gentleman? Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll holler if we need you.
No problem.
On your paperwork that is in our packet, page 41,
Yes, ma'am.
there are 2 observations that you made. Number 2 is the finished floor elevations, which you have recommended. If this is a condition that PNC places, this would be the one you would recommend. Is number 1 of that same observation not something that should be as a recommended condition for approval?
That is something they're going to have to comply with, whether you put that condition on there or not, because the property's developed out in Denton County. So this is a Denton County requirement.
Okay, so we don't need that on ours.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Okay, are there any questions from the commissioners about this final plat? Okay, do I have a motion? I would move to approve this with the condition listed. By town planner, finished floor elevations FFP shall be provided on final plat as a recommendation.
Second, all in favor? Unanimous. Okay. You did tonight, but I appreciate you coming. Thank you for this. Chief, we had this right here where we didn't even have to have you come up. Thanks. Okay, let us go back to item number 1. The public, we are holding a public hearing to consider and make recommendation regarding a request to rezone 2 tracts of land containing approximately 7 acres from agricultural district to residential estates 5, better known as RE5, legally described as Tract 1 and Tract 4 of the Virginia Morrison subdivision out of the AM Delta Survey Abstract number 1594, Town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas, and address as 590 and 630 East Jeter Road, Bartonville, Texas. The properties are generally located south and west of East Jeter Road and east of Gibbons Road. Denton County property ID is 101470 and 65096. Back to you, Marcy, with your staff presentation.
Yes, ma'am. The request is to rezone this property from agricultural to RE5. The request meets the comprehensive plan, which shows, as you can see on the illustration, on the television, is land use plan for RE5. So the request does meet the comprehensive plan requirements. The ag district that he's currently in, the minimum lot size is 10 acres. The RE5 will only require 5 acres. One of his lots is already 5-something acres and the other lot is less than 5 acres. So this request will bring his property more into compliance with the zoning ordinance. He will be submitting in the future a minor replat. I don't know the date for sure, but he will be adding a part of the property that's addressed is 590. And adding some of it, just a little bit, to the 1 acre lot, trying to make it more conforming to the zoning ordinance. It will be very hard for him to make actual 5 acres because of the development already currently around there. That will require him to go before the board adjustments prior to submitting his replat for the 1 acre lot. Approval of the RE5 is necessary for him to even submit a replat, because he cannot meet the requirements of the agricultural district. This property currently, the one address is 590, already has a house and several accessory structures. I'm not sure, I couldn't see just from the Google Maps if there were any structures on the 630 Jeter Road property, so I don't know what's there. But he does meet the requirements of the comprehensive plan, and so this is a good request, zoning wise. And staff recommends approval of the request.
Thank you. Would the applicant, Mr. Sands, like to say anything?
I'm sorry. That's, make sure I can hear you.
If you want to say, if you would like to present anything, now's your time.
Yeah, okay,
Please state your name
Yeah,
and your
plate fans on 590 East Year Road in Bartonville.
Okay.
In the packet, I'm not sure if you guys have this or not, but if you have, page 11, that would be, the best map that I could see off of this packet that might better explain to you what I'm trying to do or ask you. In my packet, it's a picture of a map of the two pieces of property. Yeah. If you look at, in the center of this page is, property number 11470, which is the 5.85 acres. About 2/3 of the way down towards the front, which is in the north part of the road, there is a finger that sticks out to the right of that piece of property. That finger cannot meet any setbacks for any type of construction, building, development, any future use of that property. For 40 years, it's just been laying there going up in trees and brush. What I'm asking and proposing is to take that finger, which is 1/2 acre, and add it to the 1 acre tract, which is directly in front, and that ID number was 65096. That would still leave the 5.85 acres minus the half would be 5.35 acres, which conforms to the zoning for RE5. And the additional of 1/2 acre to the 1 acre would be more compliant to making that a lot larger and trying to keep down the density and improve on the use of that property instead of just finding it vacant and can't do anything with it. Primarily because that finger, according to our ordinances, you cannot have any development in front of the main residence. And the main residence sits to the back of that property, so that little finger up there, what's listening, can never be utilized for anything other than growing brush and trees.
Any of you have questions? Is, Clay, is this the map that you're referring to with the yellow line around it?
This one here, so it's the next one behind it, I think.
Okay,
It's the one on the screen.
It's the one on the screen.
So you're basically wanting to take this little area that I'm at the look in
Yes, ma'am.
and attach it to this,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
and then like have a little connection over here.
Because that finger right now, it cannot be utilized. I mean, it's not large enough to do anything with it. The problem with that is because of the way it's situated. And when I bought that piece of property, this was Dale Bennett's 1 acre in the front. And I was not given an opportunity. I wanted to have that meadow. And in order to have that meadow, I was told I had to have that in 1 acre, that 1/2 acre back there, so that it would make all other 6 properties on that 40 acre tract be in a rectangular shape. So there's gonna be one odd shape when I ended up with it. But God had a plan, and here I am. Thank you.
thank you.
And it's what I'm thinking of, this opportunity, I do this for, I wanna make sure that years ago, I was taking for granted what we had out here in Bartonville. And you don't realize that everything that we have out here was done by somebody else that either contributed to or was a part of a group. And I want you guys to know how much I appreciate the time, the years that some of you all have put into this. Because I don't know Mayberry out here is what it is because of people such as you, but I appreciate your efforts and value the time that you spent, because I know it takes away from everything that you got going with your family, but hey, we're all a family. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
This thing, and maybe it's, I'm just not finding the packet, where is our criteria worksheet that we need to cite? You know, that's not,
That you're thinking, BOA.
oh, we don't have to cite it something specific? Awesome.
But this for garden state.
did that look like there they had lights? Uh-oh.
No one can do it, where's this big?
All right. Do you have anyone who wishes to speak for or against?
Can you open the public hearing first, please?
Oops. Sorry. Public hearing is now open at 7:25.
Thank you, ma'am. We, I just, before I, let you know, nobody's signed up, but I did receive one response that was in support from Donna and Lester Baumgartner at 890 East Jeter Road.
Thank you. All right, we have no,
The criterion is on page 8, but she does not need to list those.
I don't know if it's fine yet.
Right.
Stop.
okay. We have no one speaking. We do have our letter. I don't believe that there's anything else we need to address in public hearing, so I will close it at, it says 3 o'clock. What time is it?
Sorry. So that's off, that's been very six,
7:26.
7:26.
Okay, are there any more questions from the commissioners? Or are you ready to make a move one way or the other?
I would make a motion to recommend the council, taking the 7 acres from ag to residential state party.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, item number 2, hold public hearing, consider and make recommendation regarding a request for a conditional use permit for an equestrian center on property zoned agricultural district, pardon me, Town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas, and currently addressed as 987 Gibbons Road, Bartonville, Texas. The property is generally located on the east side of Gibbons Road at the northeast corner of Hidden Oaks Trail and South Dove Creek Road. Denton County property ID is 1085825. Staff?
Yes, ma'am. Before you this evening, we are reviewing a conditional use permit request for the property outlined in yellow. It is the southernmost portion of that property. He has also submitted a request to replat the 2 lots. And he also requested some variances that went to the Board of Adjustments last night. And the 3 variances that were requested, the board approved 5-0.
Questions from the commissioner before, or from you, before I open the public hearing?
Oh, I was
Oh,
going to tell you.
sorry, I thought you were all done.
No, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the remote here.
Oh,
The CUP request is for an equestrian center. The equestrian center is proposed to be located in the far northwest corner of the property. And an accessory barn is proposed to be located behind it. And on the site plan before you, the hatched area is the actual tree area of the property. And so what they tried to do is to push the equestrian center, which is to be a private roping arena, as far away from the trees and the existing creek bed area as possible, in an effort to preserve the trees. There's a rectangle towards the south end of the property, and that will be a future residence. This kind of gives you a better idea. And you can see this is the topographic map, so you can see where the creek bed runs right kind of back behind the equestrian center. And this is not a cover building, it's just an open area roping facility. There will only be one driveway entrance off of, and it will come off of Gibbons Road. In your packet, there's information listed specifically about some of the concerns that staff had with an equestrian center in a residential area. And the applicant, in an effort to try and alleviate any concerns to any, to the Planning and Zoning Commission and Council and to any residents, has listed all these specific notes on the site plan regarding concerns that staff brought up for them to address and for your consideration. When you look on the 11 by 17, it's a little. You might need a magnifying glass to see it, but on the big size paper, you can see it, so. Anytime you consider a conditional use permit, because it is a use that could possibly impact surrounding properties. You do have the ability to list any specific conditions you want attached with the site plan. And these could be added, you know, if council approves these conditions, that would be added to the site plan document itself, which will become part of an ordinance. But the applicant did a very good job in responding to the concerns that staff brought up for them. And we felt they did a really good job. Let's see. We did notify everyone, even we over notified for this because of the variance request. We just notified everybody. The variance and the conditional use permit all at the same time. Because the board did recommend or did approve the variances last night, staff recommends approval of the site plan for the conditional use permit. I'll be happy to entertain any questions that you have regarding this application.
Let me back up and ask you again, make sure I understood. In your notes, you have listed by addressing the concerns on that. Equestrian Center, we have A through. No. We have 7 items that would basically address things we will put into the CUP, correct?
The 7 items are listed, those are criteria for you to consider a conditional use permit. The items found on page 15. The dust control, seating area, building height, signage, fire protection, screening, lighting, noise. That is listed on page 15 in your packet.
Well, why, who's
He's got it. He was right under that. So maybe the next page.
So. What did you say is already gonna be listed on the plat? Are a number of these already on it? Did I misunderstand you?
I think you misunderstood me. The concerns staff brought up were things like dust control, lighting, seating, you know, is it gonna be open to the public?
Right.
Those kind of things.
And that was Mr. Brian.
Yes, and they put the notes that are shown on the screen. These are the notes that are exactly on the site plan.
Okay.
And they are written out in your packet on page 15. I didn't write all 16 of them, but I got the main, the big. In your packet, there's 8 listed, those are the big 8 to me. Because these are the ones that would mostly concern surrounding neighbors, like dust control, lighting, sound. They addressed everything on these 16 items. They are zoning concerns and they're also engineering concerns.
Okay. Any questions?
You said it was about whether it would be open to the public, and I'm not seeing that up on 1 through 16, is that listed somewhere?
It is the one that says no grand style type infrastructure is proposed. There may be incidental and accessory seating at times.
So that's not whether it's open to the public, that's just whether they have grandstands? Is that right?
Right, I mean, to me, if they had a grandstand, the public is coming, but he's not proposing any kind of structural grandstand seating out there. I believe that is number 2. Word, sorry.
Page 15.
Right, it's on page 1 of 3 in the packet. Down that, it's like a plan. He's got 3 pages to his site plan, so there's lots of notes on here. But, and the letter of intent, but if you feel comfortable, if you would rather, I mean, you are more than welcome to include all these items listed on page 15. If that would, help you feel more comfortable, and that would be put directly in the ordinance. That would go before council for their consideration.
Comments or questions on that? Let's stay this thing together.
Madam
So
Chair,
that
Mr.
basically we have to figure out the CUP and what we would put on it. And then we need to move. Go ahead.
That was what we asked him to do, those 8 on page 5.
Okay.
And he did everything we asked him to do and put it in the package. So those were the things that we thought were important. And he met those requirements. And that's what you have on page 4.
If you look on page 23, it's page 2 of 3 on the site plan. All these are listed, there's 11, and so I copied the wrong page when I made the.
No, the notes on the screen are from the grading plan, so that
Right.
the one you're referring to is correct.
Yeah, page 2 of 3 on your site plan. So they are, all these comments are addressed there.
Which is page 24 of your patch.
Yes, they're all right.
I'm
It
sorry.
says they go on to 25 as well. Because I'm not seeing that grandstanding on page 24,
Second thing is on page
23.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Got it. Yeah, I was looking at 24.
Thank you.
There are a lot of notes on this site plan.
Yeah, there are.
They did a very good job of responding to all the comments and meeting the site plan requirements in the zoning ordinance. That really good.
So at this point, if you don't have questions right now, I'm gonna open the public hearing. And then when we're finished with the public hearing, we'll come back and you need to decide what you want on this. See,
We have an applicant presentation before the public hearing. If that would be okay.
yes.
My name is Eric King, with McAdams, the address is 4400 State Highway 121, Louisville, Texas, 75057. So I'm gonna give a brief presentation, I don't wanna duplicate and respect y'all's time, so I'll just run through.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so the first slide right here is just gonna show the property, existing conditions. I wanted to show this one so you can see the tree coverage that we're working with. It is hard to see in here, the two existing creeks. One is gonna start at about this point right here on property and goes up here, and then one comes through Hidden Oaks Drive as well. So there's two branches of a creek meets up together and exits at the northeast corner of the property. This right here is the site plan, kind of blown up and zoomed in, y'all have gone over, but this is intended as a private roping arena with a primary building associated as a barn, and then accessory building, the barn is the accessory building serving the roping area. And then in the future, there's a future resident shown on the south side there. One modification of this is that will be rotated, it is intended to face Gibbons, not Hidden Oaks Trail to the bottom. Next, these are the common concerns that y'all are seeing in the notes on the site plan that we addressed in the letter of intent and as notes on both overall site plan and site plan. So that the first one is that it is a private facility associated with agricultural residential use of the property, not a public commercial enterprise. The second one is the dust control, and that'll be handled in typical dust control measure as in watering and keeping the dust down for both horses and personnel that's out there, humans, owners, property owners. Noise is the activity is localized, and where we have it, I'll talk a little bit about where we have it on site, is mainly due to we didn't want to impact the trees, we didn't want to impact the existing creek. There's also 30 feet of fall across this property, so we wanted to make sure that it had a layout to lay with the land. No amplified sound systems are proposed to be a part of the improved request. Lighting, standard arena lighting, those are not, we're not talking massive lighting, massive impacts on neighbors. Seating was a concern, there's no grandstands, there's no benches, seating stands, no bleachers, I should say. And then off-street parking demand is expected to be limited due to the private nature of the use. Also the property is not set up to park a whole lot. That's intended for private use. And then distance separation, you'll see if I go back. Actually forward. And this overall site plan right here shows the distances to the neighboring property. So this closest one up here is, I believe it's about 180 feet from that closest residential property. This next slide is variances. We voted on those last time, so I'm not gonna lean in on them too hard. And then physical hardships. I just wanted to talk about the existing lot configuration and legal constraints, and that was in regards to the natural feature and site constraints, as well as topography, drainage, and constructability. So that kind of explains and speaks to why the arena lands are the arena lands up there in that northwest corner. And then here is a overall site plan. Site plan, grading and drainage, that's a part of Bill's package as well. And this is the replat that we spoke about there. So I thank you all for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, and Marty is also here as well.
You say have a barn and an accessory building. Where, I see the barn on the map. Where's
Yes,
that?
sir.
That's a corner at the top there. Where-
Yes, so this is the roping arena.
Yeah.
Just fenced in arena, and this is the accessory building. Where the barn is at, and there is extent on the south side. That plays a lot into the position of the barn, because the further you get into that, the further your pins are south, the further you're into the existing tree canopy and the existing creek. And again. She spoke a little bit about topography, but you can see where this channel comes through like this, and you can see where this channel comes through like this, so. It shows that if you're coming any further south, we're really impacting that area.
You didn't have a whole lot to work with what you wanted to do.
No, but we made it work.
Yes, you did. I'm impressed.
You go back to parking with your quite a bit of information, and I'm just gonna read fast enough. You talked about off-street parking.
Yes, there's no off-street parking intended, it's on right there. There's no off-street parking intended for the property because it is a private use. There's also really nowhere on site for the parking to take place. So there's none shown on the site plan, there's no intended use for off-street parking. Or any type of what you would consider a public facility parking area.
So you're not like putting in parking in.
No.
Okay, got it.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Same probably again.
All right, no questions from,
Victoria, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I speak for a second?
sure, unless you want to do it during the public hearing, whenever you want to do it. I was gonna call on you next.
Are you gonna call me? Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, but you can come do it now. I don't care. I don't think anybody else cares.
I just wanna do what you say, at least at this time. Specific.
I would not leave you in.
Okay. Marty Brown, 913 Hat Creek Court, Bartonville, 76226. As I was thinking about this, I was thinking earlier, what led me to Bartonville? It was 10 years ago, I was coming down 407. And I kind of reached the hill there where you see Kroger to the left and Plant Center to the right. And what struck me was the horses, the horse statues. And I had been looking for land for a few months at this point. And as soon as I was reminded of the horse statues, I said, I think I want to be in Bartonville. And then y'all know kind of what happened from there. So the horse community, keep Bartonville country, which I later learned was kind of the slogan of Bartonville, it really kind of fits my DNA. I'm a small town guy, I grew up rodeo and all through high school. And I've continued to do it off and on, throughout my adulthood. And so we've gone to great measures on this to make it look good. If you know anything about me, if I'm gonna build something, it's gonna look good. And I won't spare any expense to do that, because I want it to be proud. It's got my name on it. I want it to represent my family and me and all the work that we put into it, and ultimately the community. I want it to be a good reflection of the community, and I think the latest example of that would be what now is the reserve at Marty B's. I think we both know that that used to be a dumping ground. We called out, there used to be mud and sludge and tons of earthworms underneath the power lines that we've also cleaned up run for. And so I just would ask that as you think about conditional uses, I'm not sure that these 7 or 8 items here that already are attached to an ordinance need to be part of any type of condition because it already speaks to it. Right, you've got a noise ordinance. You have an ordinance for that, there would be no reason to make that a condition. You have a lighting ordinance. You have building heights, you already know all those things. Dust control. Dust control is way more important to me than it is to you. I'm just saying, because it's not healthy for the animals, it's not healthy for the space. Now, I'm not gonna say that the wind's blowing 35 miles an hour like it may be tomorrow. There may be some dust fragments. There was some at Marty B's today. Thanks for not giving me a ticket, Kurt. But it's, I've always found it interesting that, when you're in the country, and Bartonville's slogan is keep Bartonville country, country things happen. And dust is part of being in the country. So I think the whole reason we all live here, the reason I live here, the reason I've invested so heavily to make Bartonville my home and want to enjoy the lifestyle that we have is because of all those values, because it's really about values. And I found that people that have grown up with some type of country background where they've had to work hard and take care of animals, take care of farms, whatever, tend to be good stewards of the land. And so that's kind of my plan here. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So this is, I know that it's not what we're talking about now, but just thinking in the future is, in our plan is RE5. So is it at all in your scope, to separate those two, that 16 and make that RE5?
Well, so it's gonna be replanted. And so it'll end up being 8 acres. So it's currently 16.32 acres, and which I bought 8. So once the replat goes all approved, then it'll just be 8 acres, so we can't divide it.
See, there's 2, and that's gonna be split basically in half.
Yeah, I think, legally, I think I'm confused, so just if I have a question for someone in here does. So that's a plat of 8 acres, which is fantastic, we'd love to keep more acres together. But ultimately, it's still under an ag attached to that, so is it going to later, are we going, because now it's under the 10? Are we going to zone it, which is different than a plat, to RE5?
Who's the question for?
Anybody that can answer, I just, I'm confused.
It's a reason the property would require somebody to submit an application to do so, whether that be the property owner or the town.
Okay, so I guess maybe Marty, are you planning, when you're a plat at 8, which is fantastic, are you going to take that opportunity to rezone it with the plan of Bartonville's land use plan to RE5?
I have no idea. I'm just buying it as it is. It's 8 acres.
Okay.
I don't know the question maybe specifically.
Okay.
I'm gonna continue to take advantage of ag and whatever means that means, whatever means that looks like. I currently have cattle on it, we need to put bees on it, whatever we gotta do to meet the criteria.
Yeah, that's different than
You can do
than
it
the
5
land
acres.
use, you can do on any of that, like I'm saying, it doesn't it's accurate.
I don't understand the question because I couldn't. I mean, if it's RA5. Then I have 3 acres left over.
No, no, 8, but it's overhead.
I could have 10 acres or even 15 acres. I could still, I wouldn't be forced to be ag.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just trying to understand the question.
I wanna, so you're going for a conditional use permit, but you've pulled off this piece of land, right? And so if that's the way you wanna use it, like, that's great, it has horses, it's all of those things. But I'm looking at the future of that land, whatever we approve today for your use, we wanna make sure that it sticks with the land and it goes to our town's goals in land. And so I was wondering if that was something we've been thinking about, if that's something we're
Well,
open to.
maybe I need to backtrack. I just recently purchased the land. It's part of a 16 acre tract. I bought it from Richard and Jenny.
Yeah.
And they cut off 8 acres of their 16.32.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay.
I'm confused.
We'll talk.
Does it affect the conditional use permit? Does it affect the?
No.
Well, but it could be a recommend, I'm asking because I'd like to potentially make it a recommendation that goes to council to say, hey, this is something we recommend for, it's just a recommendation, can't be one or the other, but recommending that it goes in compliance with our town's land use for the future to protect it. So that's why I'm bringing it up, that's why I'm asking, and it seems a little bit outside, but that's what we're here to do, is just talk through it and.
But isn't the land use designated as equestrian? This is a version of equestrian, is that right? At least it is what we're trying to approve tonight, maybe.
You want to address this? I have a.
Well, as we all know, the land, when we looked at this, there's not a roping arena use. There's an equestrian use. So Marcy and I got together, said this is the closest thing. Then we talked about a CEP because there were some concerns. And that's why we have the CEP. To address this thing, I think with the Commissioner Jenkins is talking about is when Marty and I spoke. When I looked at the land use, it was RE5. It wasn't looking at the zoning, which is ag. And then I think you did the meets and bounds and didn't come to what I was used to. So I think that's sort of the question Commissioner Jenkins is asking. But that was something that he and I spoke about from the arena, can I do that? And when he, I was looking at land use RE5 and it's zoned ag. But you went ahead and had the meets and bounds and platted it with the county. So it's already there, it's 8 acres, so I guess that's, we had discussions about it and. It was, like I say, equestrian center. We don't have a road and bridge, that's why we brought it to y'all with this type of label.
I don't think that's sufficient, at least for me, it's just to have it on record, have the conversation, have the conversation about what the use. What the. To have exactly what Chris said, it's on the record to know that it's, when this goes to council, that we talked about it and we wanted to go to. The future land, use plan.
I think it's about the pay grade, I don't know.
Marty, I think we all love your idea and plan, and I don't think anyone is gonna, not go for it. We just want it clean, and for it to be clean, even though the future use is RE5, ag is really an unzoned, and you can still use ag, you can still have your exemption if it's RE5 and have your 8 acres, but it cleans up what we're doing if it ends up being rezoned. Does that make more sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
I guess you gotta speak fifth grade level, I can get it.
One of the things that happens, because that's one of my young duties, there's a real disconnect and misunderstanding between agricultural exemption and ag zoning. They're totally different. You could have something that was zoned RE2, but it had 5 acres on it, and you can have an ag exemption on it. It's not, there's two different things. And I think that when you see ag, everybody thinks that's because I want to have horses and but they're two separate issues. So if, if we were changing and starting back at the beginning, if you'd come in and said, I'm buying this 8 acres, it was on our land use plan as RE5, we would have zoned your 8 acres RE5. But that didn't happen, and so that's where the confusion is.
Makes sense.
It's not that anybody's upset about what you're doing, it looks great, you're thinking about your neighbors. You've saved trees, which is a huge thing for us, everything you're doing and where you placed it is pretty darn impressive. With what you had worked with the streams and the trees, so I hope that helps a little
Yes,
bit.
thank you, Jared. Thank you, Rebecca, that's a quick follow-up, okay.
That's good, and I was second that, like the church, keeping all the trees is huge. It's definitely a hard site to work with. I have no more questions.
Thank you. All right. Well. I managed to throw papers all over every place before I can't even find my paper that's supposed, all right, here we go. We are now going to open the hearing at 7:59. Do we have any cards of anyone who would like to speak tonight?
We do, Madam Chair. I do want to state that the town did receive today 2 responses in opposition of this plan from Linda and Anthony McInerney at 1101 Thrasher Drive.
2?
Both of them,
Okay.
Yes, Linda sent me an email and then Anthony sent me an email, but they
Can you read
both
those into the
reside.
record, please?
Yeah, the first one's from Linda. Consider this a formal opposition to the zoning change for an equestrian center in the above address. My name is Linda McInerney, and I reside at 1101 Brasher Drive, Bartonville, Texas, 76226. And I live directly across the street from the above property, and I do not wish anything to change the original zoning. I live here in Bartonville because it's quiet and peaceful and have been here for 37 years. I do not want the noise and traffic from this change would bring to my neighborhood. Anthony's email. Yes, the reason I am contacting you is that I am not in a line with the zoning change. I've lived out here for over 44 years, and this is not something that Bartonville has ever even about. If you had 50 to 100 acres, okay, I'm in agreement with it, but you are talking about such a small amount of property. That is not going to be good for the area. It's going to bring more traffic right to that corner where it's already congested with your stop signs that nobody even wanted out here. The things that you're doing to this town can tell that you people are not from here. Native people would not allow this. Not that you're going to listen to me or even worry, because you people really don't care. You're just acting like you do with these letters you sent out, blah, blah, blah. Now that you would allow this, what's stopping everybody else from doing it? Once you start doing this, that's the road you go down, and it always works out like that. Just like your 5 acres went down to 2 acres, you see, you might be able to lie to everyone, but not me. Okay, I do have a couple that have signed up tonight, and I apologize, I did this last night. Richard Zerks, Yorkshire. You wanna come up to the yeah.
I live at 987 South Gibbons, and I'm directly adjacent to the property that Marty's doing. We've lived there for 26 years, and we think that this piece of property would work excellent for what Marty's doing. It's perfect, and I have no objection whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Cherry Fuller.
My name is Cherry Fuller, and I live at 1000 South Gibbons Road, directly across the road from the property. The Fullers have lived here, since 1942. And, we were country before Bartonville got here. And, I think that this, facility, equestrian center, as you're calling it, would be a great addition. Because it is a country thing, it meets all of the criteria in my vote for being, something that you find in the country. Goals that we have here in Bartonville. And, with all of the things, the careful planning that's been done and all of the things that have been mitigated, I think it's an excellent addition to our town, so. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jenny.
Sherry Peck.
I'm Sherry Peck at 150 Hidden Oaks, Bartonville. I am directly across the street on Hidden Oaks, the side of the property where we're talking about. My husband and I have lived there for 23 years. We ourselves have a barn, have had 4 horses, we've got cows, we've had goats and chickens, and we don't mind any kind of animals. This is why we came to Bartonville, was to have that country feel, and we don't mind animal noises, we don't mind dust. Again, we've lived through it ourselves, and we appreciate what Marty's done, and just the careful placement of putting the barn in a place that saves the trees, that keeps the horses out of the creek, and has this nice roping arena where we can see it when we drive by and walk across the street. So we're very in favor of it.
Thank you very much.
That's all that I have.
Thank you. We will close. Can you turn the clock back on? We'll close the public hearing at 8:05. Okay. Are there more questions from the commissioners?
Yeah, I'd like to, anytime we do a conditional use permit, it's for the lifetime, here to eternity. And so if we think ahead, now this looks really good, what it's doing, but if we okay this as a what we call it, not a riding arena, but a equestrian center. Right now, the plan is that you're gonna be there forever, but someday this property would be sold. What could come in that we wouldn't like? It would be under equestrian center. What sort of things would we have to be looking? Is there set criteria for equestrian center that we've used before?
We have a definition in our ordinances for what an equestrian center is. We, in all cases, I believe, since we started doing this, we have attached a CUP to each one that has the kind of things that are listed in our packet in order to not, it doesn't restrict anybody, but it does protect. Some people might consider it having to mitigate sound or whatever, but we have ordinance for that, but the CUP is tied to the land so that it's a very clean handling. If there is someone other than Marty that would be coming on the land, we're prepared for them, and that's what the CUP does. And what is listed here are pretty much the standard things that over all the years that we have had to issue CUPs address the problems. The light that would, any kind of lighting is restricted, and we need to write that carefully so that it can't spill off the land above somebody else or go into their windows or whatever. That's what it's for. The dust, Marty's isn't very big, but it could also be on another piece of property huge, and it mitigates the issue so that it doesn't affect neighbors. Basically, the CUPs do that, which you don't want to sit in your backyard at your pool and hear loudspeakers. So that's what the CUP's for. Under the use Marty is planning, it's not going to affect him, but we do, with this being called an equestrian center, have to do the CUP in order to protect that land. 100 years from now, well, not 100, but when you sell it and it would go and someone else wanted to use a more intensive use of an equestrian center, we need to have things in place, and that's what we're doing. So, we've had discussions, but I really need to have you put together what should be on the CUP. And then from that, decide if you want, if you're going to recommend, approval, then we need to recommend the CUP to go with. So I'm ready when you are.
What's the page number again that has all?
What's it?
So on page 23 on the site plan, is that what you're asking, or are you wanting the list? Okay, it's on page 15, but I copied this language off the site plan, so it's already listed on there.
Could you really quickly pull up a CUP off some of our recent ones, because the same things end up being the same issues that we have to deal with? You can't.
This computer's not hooked up to our network. So I'd have to go find one and come back.
That would be the most efficient way.
I think
because
it
we've done
would
this
too.
before.
We've done this before, over and over.
Yeah.
Will it be an issue if we, just put this on hold long enough for you to do that and maybe move on to the next item so that we don't have to make everybody sit out here for 2 hours? Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
Then if he has no issue, I have no issue.
Okay, we'll get us our paperwork, and in the meantime, we're gonna get, item number 3. And this is We'll just hold off on this and come right back to it. The hearing's already closed anyway. Okay. Item number 3. Hold public hearing, consider and make recommendations regarding a request for a waiver from chapter 10 subdivision regulation exhibit A development ordinance part 3 subdivision design standards section 3.5 lots subsection B to allow for the creation of a flag lot on an irregularly shaped tract of land. The property is 105.82 acre tract of land being described as Lot 2, Block A, Robert Evans Ranch Edition, Town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas, located on the south side of West Jeter Road. The property is generally located at 1047 West Jeter Road. Staff presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Before you this evening, we have a request. The applicant is proposing to replat the 2 lots into 3. The 3rd lot will look very similar to lot 2 in that it is, when you think of a flag, it's a big rectangle in a color. And so this is, lot 2 is an upside down flag. So the majority of lot 3 will be on lot 2, and the flagpole will run up to West Jeter Road. They went before the Board of Zoning Adjustments last night, because they did get a waiver to the lot width requirement. To give you an idea, they do meet the 300-foot requirement of street frontage. They do meet, the lot width at the building setback line, which is 250 feet. And then it goes down to 100 feet and then it widens out at the bottom. It's a flat lot. Lot 2, received a waiver in 2020. Most lots do not have the depth like this, like the 3 of these lots do. Basically from West Jeter Road to the southern property line is a little less than half a mile. 5.5 football field lengths. It's way back there. You can't even see it from the road because of the topography. The property is very hilly, and it drops back down in the back. So they are asking a waiver to the flag lot requirement because, like I said, most lots aren't this deep. They are proposing to all 3 lots to use 1 driveway entrance, so there will not be 3 driveway entrances. The plat that is proposed has an access easement for all 3 lots to use the same driveway entrance. The driveway entrance is a gated entrance. I believe that's in the packet. But so it is up to the commission whether to recommend a waiver to this or not. Most ordinances prohibit flag lots. However, most lots aren't this deep either. And most lots don't have the changing topography. I do not have a map showing the topography levels, but some of you are familiar with the property. Let's see.
Can you go back to that other just kind of point? This is the new lot, so where is the original 1 and 2 on that drawing
Let's
there?
see.
It kind of like,
Let's see. Hang on, I'm going the wrong way.
Marcy, go to 3, page 30. If you look at 39,
okay,
that will show the different lots, the 1, 2, and 3.
okay,
If you go to that, that's one with the maroon and the black. I think it's page 39.
The blue highlighted area,
You could,
you
yes.
see lot 1 and lot 2. And lot 2 has a pole going up to West Jeter Road.
Is that black circle on a turnaround if you go south. Yeah,
No,
what's that?
that's just. When I pick the lot, it puts a black dot on it. Oh, that's just a mapping thing. But this is the flagpole portion for lot 2. And so lot 3, the flagpole's gonna go right here. And but there won't be another driveway. They're all, lots 2 and 3 are gonna share this one driveway.
Okay, with your finger showing where lot 3 is from, come down that driveway and. Yeah, come down like that, and then
And,
it just kind of stuck in there in the middle.
yeah,
Okay,
this is
oh,
where
I
the,
see the picture now.
this is where the tree area is, it's right here. So this is where they're going to put a single family residence.
How many acres is that on 3?
14,
Approximately 14, so same 200. I almost 1 acre, just started dry.
yes. Normally staff would have a problem with a flag lot, but because of the size of this property, this is not one typical property. There's not a lot typical about this.
And the topography itself is why we did what we did the first time. There's that property is beautiful, rolling hills and covered with trees.
Yeah, big hill right on the front, in front there.
The lot 1 is where the main house is. Their goal and in the placement of the creation of lot 3 was to have an unimpeded view. And so when you're up here, the house is down here in the trees, you won't be able to see the house. Mom and dad love the kids, they just don't want to see them.
All right, unless you have questions. I'm gonna go ahead and open the public hearing on this at 8:18. Shannon, do we have any responses for this?
We do not, I'm not sure if the applicant wanted to do a presentation.
We'd love to have you do it if you want to, but you don't have to.
Sure.
And she was right, we want our kids close, but we don't want to look out and see them. So, we just built a house right here, this is 140 acres. We have the other 50 right here. So it's really hard to use this 100 acres back here if we can't get to it. So that's kind of why we did this, but now we want to build a house right in the middle of all these trees. Cause there's a ponds right here, there's a barn, an arena. And this is what we want for our grandkids to live by. So, that's why it would just be one entrance, we have one gated entrance. Everybody would use it. This is not being used for anything, this is a shop. Our old barn is right under that dot. Maybe a small little house right here that's empty, it's been empty for a couple of years. This is where we want to build the new build right there.
I neglected to have you state your name and address.
I'm
Would you
sorry.
mind doing that?
Yeah, Tracy Evans.
Fine.
Tracy Evans, we live at 1101 West Year, which is lot 1.
Thank you. Any questions for her?
Is there any intention in the future to break these up into more lots or anything like that, or is this what your plan is?
This is our plan, and we weren't even gonna do this. But it was just, it just was too pretty of a spot to not build there. And, we don't really want anybody else around us. We don't, we're not anti-building, but we like it to be very controlled. We don't have any plans to do anything else. Our son lives just east of lot 1 and lot 2. And so it's just kind of a little family area with 3 houses.
Thank you so much.
Questions? No?
But not too close.
Close but not close, so I want it close enough where my little granddaughter can ride her little Jeep up to my house. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have not received anybody to sign up, and nor have I received anything in the mail.
Okay, in that case, I will close the hearing at 8:21. Any questions or discussion from the commissioners? Or are you ready to make a motion? You do.
I will make a motion to approve the request of council for the allow for creation of a flag lodge for the pieces inspected in Bolton Street.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, back to number 2.
Sorry, I didn't want to disturb her while she was doing her presentation. I looked back for the last 5 years and found the 2 equestrian center CUPs that we've done in the past. And the most recent was done in 2023. I can make this bigger for you. Oh, I didn't do it. I'll stay here. There's normal whereas clauses. Let me see if I can get it granted. And then basically here's where you're starting yours. Stipulations, as you will say. Soil, kept clean, dust free. Lights in the equestrian arena and all outside equestrian operations shall cease at 10 p.m. nightly. All amplified sound to any equestrian accessory building or outdoor equestrian arena shall comply with the town's noise ordinance. Then it goes in their specific 62 decimals. Talks about the manure. If manure is not spread on the property, manure must be contained in a compost structure at least 250 feet from any property line and removed weekly or composted. And then they're talking about training. So that was the stipulations that are put in this one. This is then the just normal clauses that you have in an ordinance. I can open the other one for you.
On the one that you have, how large of a facility is that? Some of those, or like the 4 and 5 looks like it's like a lot of animals, so is that a pretty big facility?
Anybody? And
Where is it? I can tell you.
that's what I was looking for, 2700 FM 407 East. Is that Legacy? No, not Legacy.
It's not Legacy. What's the year 23? Legacy was there. Saddlebrook was there.
Let's CJ Ranch.
That's what I was thinking.
Let's CJ.
But see,
But that-
it's been there.
And those are the things and commissioners and. This was something that we did not have a specific use for roving arena. This whole equestrian thing, we put it in, had to put it in a category to bring it to.
Yeah.
So don't get tied up about the equestrian center. I think we're getting way off into the different, this is just a private roving arena. Will not have any parking, will not be used for anything but Marty and one of his buddies. If I rode, I'd like to go row, but I don't. So just so you'll know, that's where we had to put it. Marcy and I talked about it. We looked at all the different uses. There wasn't one there. And so we said, hey, this is horses. This looks good. And that's why if you look throughout the document, it's equestrian parentheses roving arena, private. So these were the other ones that we brought. We took some of these things. And that's what it's good for you to approve the CUP.
So what I'm thinking, if we put together the PUC and we should put in a trigger. Because some of the things that we would do for an equestrian center are absolutely not applicable. So the noise and the manure and the water stuff probably doesn't with and the lighting. And the sound was is another one, but that particular one has, how many shows they can have. So can we build a CUP where it would trigger if whoever owns this land decided to start having something on that land that would cause more, cause traffic and bring in shows. That's one of the big deals that the neighbors all have a fit about. Rightly so, when it's in the middle of residences, that they, you limit how many shows they can have in 1 year. But in all these cases, we're looking at 100-acre properties and they're bringing in, 100 people. So this has got to be tailored to this land, but maybe can you put in some triggers if Marty is not there and since it falls under equestrian center and there's CUP, if such and such happens, then these also apply, or is that possible?
Again, the site plan has those specific statements and restrictions on it. And so that would be a starting point, I would say, if you wanted to simply copy that onto the CUP. But again, I think when Marcy was saying that may not even be necessary because those restrictions are on the site plan. That site plan, just like the CUP, also runs with the land. And so if there are any changes to that, they would have to come back in and get a revised site plan.
Is it triggered, however, through our ordinances that we have to do a CUP?
Okay, for this use.
That's what I thought. So just copying over?
So I guess,
One of the things, in the comments, like lighting. I didn't say what the lighting was, I said we had to meet the requirements of such and such section of the zoning ordinance and the code of ordinances. So if you change it in the future, you still gotta meet it. It's not, in this other ordinance, it's very specific, but if you change your lighting standards to less or more, this guy only has to follow what's in that ordinance, whereas if you just put the section number, whatever's in there, he's gotta meet it for all time.
What do you think about that? I like it.
And that's why you put no signage. That's very specific, so, if someone's going to put a commercial venture, most people are gonna wanna put out a sign, that's your first clue that it's a commercial business. So the comment in there, no signs are proposed, so. I think that's a big trigger. But you are more than welcome to put any additional conditions that you want. I don't know what you can say, what is a trigger,
Good question. So when you say no signs are proposed, like that says today, that saying no signs are proposed, does that prohibit them in the future, or do we need to clarify and say?
That means if he wants signage, he's gotta come back and amend his CUP.
So if it's not proposed right now, then it is basically no to the CUP. Is that right?
It means he can't have a sign. So if he wants signage, he'll have to amend the site plan and he'll have to come back before you, and it requires a public hearing notice.
Got it.
So that's a trigger for it to come back. That would be a trigger for a sign permit to be denied because the site plan says no.
So if there's no seating, so someone else took this up, Marty, sorry, but if you were just out. Someone else buys it and says, oh, this is an equestrian center, I can do whatever I want with it. If it's on there, it says no parking, then they have to come back. Those seed, they have to come back. So the only thing we need to really, that I see that we need to look at is there anything on these other CUPs that need to be added? Because I think right now, everything is on there except for maybe, I don't know, if manure was discussed, but everything else seems to be covered to me. And that we're pretty protected and they would have to come back if he were to sell. They couldn't just bulldoze all the trees and put in a big center because it's on the CUP that they can't have parking, they can't have this, they can't have seatings.
Right, I do not think of manure. That wasn't in my wheelhouse. But that's something, you know, I don't know enough about horses to say how much is produced or.
Oh, I don't either, but it should align with our other CUPs. I think all our CUPs for question centers should be very similar. And so I just think they should all align.
Manure is in the 2023, but in the 2020 CUP. Manure is not addressed, so that's, again, as we're growing, we learn things from.
There's a CUP on Rockgate.
I will go back the last 5 years based on
And
time.
that one got a lot of attention.
Pardon me?
That got a lot of attention.
Yes, it did. Manure was one of the things.
Rick, the manure got a lot of attention or the CUP?
Just the CUP in general, with all the lighting and, I mean, this list here.
Wow.
And then that got the most attention I've seen.
Marty,
Yes, ma'am.
what are you gonna do with your poop? Are you gonna
Let me
spread
ask you a
it?
question. Would you rather some type of harmful ammonia based
Please.
fertilizer be used or manure? I mean, right now, what I'm doing, because my, you know, the animals, that's what they do, right? So every now and then I'll go out there and I'll just mow it and blow it. Cause it just kind of spreads it. Um,
You need my manure spreader.
yeah, you got one?
You betcha.
Be awesome. I just wanna clarify on the parking, I mean, the reality is if I have a couple of buddies show up and we're road bed, there's gonna be a couple of trailers and horse and.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, so,
That's just regular use of.
yeah,
Right.
I just making sure we're on the same page.
You're not providing paid parking,
No,
so that's what off-street parking is. In everyone's mindset is a paid parking lot.
The concern is if you were to ever sell, that's really the concern.
no, totally, I get it, I'm with you, I'm good.
What did the manure say?
The one that has manure, if manure is not spread on the property, manure must be contained in a compost structure at least 250 feet from any property line and removed weekly or composted.
So if you're gonna spread it, that's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm already doing it anyway, I mean, it's.
And that's common.
Yeah.
The
it's
place
part of-
next
that's a
to
good
me,
asset.
they have a big dumpster thing and they dump it in there and once a week they take it away.
Well,
I
I,
just think you're gonna have that many horses in the first place.
well, I have 6 stalls, so I would imagine I'll have. Any more than that.
I don't think that 250 feet, though, that's meant for a lot bigger property.
Yeah,
Like, I think we need to reduce that because. Just because the size of the property, and then a lot of that side is heavily treed, so wherever he's able to. With that, does not flow with this particular.
I'd say you just say it's spread, and then they would have to come back if they wanna do something other than spread it.
Okay.
Not good, yeah. Say it again.
I say we just say you're gonna spread it, and that way, if someone else were to take over, wanna do something else, they just come back, if you're fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Make it simple.
yeah.
I'm gonna laugh really hard if Marty has to come in and have a poop conversation. I
got a citation.
He said that's what he's gonna do, so we're just going along, and I think that's a good idea.
Fixes that. Well, it's, you know, the reality of that size of property, I mean, like for road series, I'll probably have 5 or 6. I mean, there may be a day I have a few more, but. I've leased property across the street from me too, so I have plenty of space to put animals.
Well, you don't have to worry about the manure from cattle anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the horse barn, I mean, we clean it daily anyway.
Yeah. And to address your property size. I don't think you would have, just don't say 250 feet from it. Just say it has to be contained and then taken away if it was an issue where. You
If
decide,
it overfills,
I just say it has to be spread, and then we just leave it, and if they wanna change it, they have to come back to it.
okay,
Yeah, well, the problem with manure anyway is flies, so you're trying to mitigate flies, but.
Yes, it is.
So.
that's why everything has to be covered if it's sitting around there like that,
Mhm.
although fly predators have.
So Gloria, on the scene cleanup, can we just say like that we're looking to approve it, but based on everything that's already listed on the site plan with one additional? Or how does that, what else are you doing?
Yeah, so you would, if you're recommending approval, it would be recommending approval with the additional conditions listed on the site plan. Plus whatever you decide on the manure.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm just looking too at this CUP, it's got decibels written on it, I'm not sure why it has that, when there's a sound ordinance. Or just make the sound ordinance apply, right?
yes, and that's what's noted on your site plan.
And that's fine, I don't know why that's on there, I guess.
Well, this is the other, this is the prior, this is not
That's
your
our
already.
No, I know, I was just noting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not, the last two, they're very, different. So.
I can't really look at these examples.
So what do you wanna do here so we can get out of here?
I would propose that we, approve this with the conditions listed on the site plan, adding, the condition that manure is spread.
A second.
A third.
All in favor? We're done. Do we have anything coming up on next month's agenda we need to know about?
And this item is actually if any of the commissioners want something added to the agenda, not for us to tell you what's going down.
Okay. You have anything you want to put on the agenda? Next month?
No.
Okay. In that case, we'll close the meeting at 8:38 p.m.
People laugh, people laugh.
Happy April Fool's Day.
We spent 30 minutes.